this book was just so hot. Hi everyone, my name is Molly. Welcome back to my little corner of the internet. I am so excited to be back here on YouTube, give you guys the tea on all the exciting books that I've read so far this year. It has been over a year since I've been here on BookTube, and honestly a lot has gone on. When I first started my channel, I had just moved into my first home with my now fiance. I'm now engaged. A lot has gone on since I've been away, but I am so excited to be back here, give you guys the tea on everything that I've been reading. And I thought for today's video, I would give you guys the rundown of my top 5 books so far in 2025. The 28th of May when I'm filming this video, and so far I have finished 44 books this year. And I'll be honest, at the start of the year I genuinely thought this was going to be a really slow reading year for me. I kind of lost my motivation and my reading vibes, everything I picked up just wasn't hitting. However, I've started to realise that I just very much am in my dark romance era. Therefore, my thriller reads haven't been as high as they usually are, but I have started to just recently get back into those too. So although I used to be a staple thriller girl, 4 out of the 5 of my top reads so far this year are actually romances. I know. The first one that I would love to talk to you about is actually the Imperfectly Perfect series by Neva. I am a sucker for Neva writing. I have just started her series over the last month, and I am just about to start the 4th book in the series. The Imperfectly Perfect series simply has every single trope that you would like. Arranged marriage, enemies to lovers, brother's best friend, so many different tropes, and the best thing about these books is they are not that long either. I have completed the first 3 and all 3 of them are under 300 pages, so bingeable, and you genuinely feel so connected to the characters. I genuinely do not know how she gets so much information and so much story and plot within such a short space of time. Neva's writing is just perfection. My favourite one so far has to be Broken Whispers, which is the 2nd book in the series. It is an arranged marriage between the Italian mafia's most favoured, most beautiful girl and the Bradford's most feared monster. How could they call him that? It is dark but open door spicy mafia romance. It is so good. Love the disability rep in this series, by the way. It is just done so well. Our main character female is mute, is also very possessive and jealous. So far in the series there are 9 books. I believe there is going to be a 10th one coming soon. If anybody is ever looking for a dark mafia romance series, please, please, please let it be this one. I should probably preface as well at this point that none of these books are actually in any particular order. I am horrendous at choosing favourites as it is. I would not be able to tell you what is my favourite one though so far this year. But they're all in this video, so they're really good. This was my first 5-star of the year, and this book took me on such a roller coaster. I genuinely still do not know if I'm down from the hype that I gave this book. That is Hate by Tate James. So, kind of a sidetrack, but this is also another thing that I haven't told you guys yet, but I am actually now working as a full-time content creator for an indie romance author, Tracy Lorraine, and this book series is actually one that she recommended me. I am obsessed with this. I am still not over the train of this book that I've still not picked up the 2nd book in the series. So you may be thinking, Molly, if you love this book so much, how could you possibly have rated this 5-star, left it on the ending that it gave it, and then just not picked up the rest of the series yet? And I know, I feel that. I am asking myself the same thing, but the storyline and the characters and the plot twists just hit me so hard. I genuinely, I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel ready to go back into it yet. I don't want the rest of the series to be a bit of a flop. But in the same breath, I have got the rest of them. Maybe what I need to do is do a little reading vlog of me continuing series of books that I've started. Let me know what you think about that. So this is a college romance, it is enemies to lovers, it is also Why Choose, and it follows our main character, Madison Kate. Madison Kate is framed for a deadly riot that occurs in the town, but she is eventually released back into Shadow Grove, and Archer and his boys, the guys that actually set her up, are going to learn how far her hate goes. If you're looking for a super strong female main character, then this is definitely the one. When I arrive back in town, thanks to my father's shiny new girlfriend, I find all 3 of them living in my house right down the hall. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, They sound really hot, so I would not be that mad. So this book is really intense. There is so much going on. Of course, you've got the forced proximity between Madison, Kate, and the boys, but there is so much more going on as well. It's not that difficult as a reader to start to fall in love with the boys, and you start to learn a lot more about what the reasons were for what happened that night. There is also a side character, Brie, and I loved her. She was so fun. And I've also got my notes up that I have done on Goodreads. If you guys are not already following me on Goodreads, then I recommend that you do, because all of my thoughts are always on there. And I have put here, Steele is the sex god of the book, whilst Cody is the fluffy teddy bear that is supportive whenever MK is in need of a warm hug or reassurance during and following a PA. So there is a lot of mental health rep in this one as well, and I feel like it is done really, really well. And then I've also put Archer remains hard to please and keeps himself to himself for now. If you guys have read this series, I would love to know who your favourite guy is in the comments. There is also a lot of plot twists in here. If you like a really dark, tense storyline, you'll definitely receive this in this one. And I also believe it's on Kindle Unlimited. So my dark romance girlies, I've also got you covered on that one as well. My next book is actually one of Tracy's, and it is Breaking the Packing Rules, and this releases 31st of July. It is a forbidden romance, single dad, ice hockey romance. There is so much spice in here, and I will still remember the sexting scene. It was stunning. I loved it. It is a romance between Casey Watson and Cody Rivers. He's the winger for the LA Vipers. He is hot, he is sexy. He is the dad to Sutton. One issue is he is addicted to the one thing that he is not allowed to have. Our sassy female lead, Casey Watson, who is Cody Rivers' coach's daughter. She has had a crush on him since she was a teenager. You just know where this book is going. Is a designer for the LA Vipers as well, so she works alongside the team, so you can imagine they see each other around quite a bit. Very fortunate to read this book in advance. A little perk of the job, but I absolutely love this book, and I will be raving and ranting about it until the release day. It will be available on Kindle Unlimited as well. If you like sports romances, you need to read this book this year. My next book is one I actually binge read when I was on holiday, and that's Lost and Lassoed by Lyla. This is the third book in the Rebel Blue Branch series. This follows Teddy. Again, a single dad. What is it with me and single dads? I genuinely do feel like this is one of my favourite tropes ever. Don't know what to say about that, Dan. I'm so sorry. I love you. And he falls in love with his little sister's best friend. But of course, before any of that happens, he physically cannot stand her. This isn't enemies to lovers. It's also forced proximity. He actually really needs a lot of support looking after his daughter when life gets a bit busy, and she decides to help and step in for the sake of her best friend. And of course, a little bit of romance comes their way. If Lyla knows how to do anything, it's to write a spicy cowboy romance, and this book just takes the biscuit. It is so freaking good. This series does start with Done and Dusted, and then it goes on to Swift and Saddled. These are really cozy, quick, easy cowboy spicy romances. So if you've already binged through all of your Elsie Silvers, I highly recommend that you give Lyla Sage a go. So like I said, I've primarily been reading a lot of romance reads, but I have read one thriller book that has stood out to me over the rest, and that is The Psychopath Next Door by Mark Edwards. If you're looking for a really unhinged female main character, then I present to you Fiona Smith. Ethan, his wife Emma, and their children move to a new town for a fresh start. Ethan and Emma's marriage isn't in the best place, but they want to move for a fresh start to give their children the best life that they can possibly have. In the early days of moving in, Fiona, their next door neighbour, notices that Rose is being bullied by the boys across the street, and she intervenes. And at this point, of course, Ethan thinks that Fiona has come into their lives at the most perfect opportunity, and she can help look after Rose during the school holidays. Of course, they've come across this loving new neighbour who is so lovely and supportive of their little girl. Can't really be much fault, right? But it turns out that Fiona actually has her own agenda, and she is the last person that you should possibly leave your children with. This book took a turn. I actually run a little book club over on WhatsApp, and I genuinely told everybody to go read this book once I finished it. I was so surprised at how this book went. I could talk about the plot twist of this book for such a long time. It was so unexpected in the best possible way. And I've read a lot of Mark Edwards, and I genuinely think this is one of his best work yet. I've checked the blurb, and it's actually a part of that, so I'm not feeling as bad for mentioning this now. However, let's just say that Fiona is not that innocent, and she appears to believe that Rose isn't either, so she decides to train her up as her accomplice. Let's just say they are a duo and a half. That book is also available on Kindle Unlimited, and the audio is also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you're looking for a quick read or a quick listen, then I highly, highly recommend that one. I have read so many books so far this year that have either disappointed me or excited me, and these are my top 5 so far this year. I have read 40 to 45 books so far this year. For summary, then let me know. I'm more than happy to film that. But I am super excited to be back here on BookTube to share my thoughts and reviews with you guys. I'm always after any new recommendations. My TBR may be long, but your gal's got time. So if there's anything you think that I need to be reading and prioritising, let me know in the comments. Providing a new video once a week, so keep an eye for that. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do consider it. It will mean the world to me. I'll leave the links down below for my Bookstagram and my BookTok, as well as my Goodreads if we're not already friends over there too. Happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one.